Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, and I ain't been on for a while. I'll explain why. Now, I've been working my little fucking legs off to pay for an holiday for me and my missus. It's nothing to do with the podcast that went off and what I come out with, and people say that I've got mental health problems because I haven't got mental health problems. For me, coming out with that cleared my head. Put a few things out there no one knew about, as we know. It's going to work. The case. I've got some fucker texting me every 2 minutes. You're getting on my nerves now. Go away. Go on, off you go. I don't know you. Anyway, we'll go back to it again. So, first of all, I want to say I'm really grateful for the amount of response that I've got from Leon's podcast, the positive gear. 99% positive that people, I didn't realise existed. People, I wish I'd have known you a lot as friends when I was younger. I might have turned out a better person. And I got 1%. 1% saying I'm a grass. Now, I understand that. I know where you're coming from. And I did grass Krieger. And if I was on the other end of the shoe, I'd be calling that person a grass. So I accept your criticism. I'm not going to argue with you. I did what I did for my own reasons. Okay? Now, you want to get back into your little rooms on your keyboard before you type in all the horrible things you say about me, which, like I say, I don't blame you. Everyone's entitled to opinion. Put yourself in my shoes and think hard. What would you have done? Now, half you'd have turned around and probably said, well, I'd have beat Craig and Tony up, you know what I mean, because I'm that fucking hard. You probably would have done. Or some might say, I would have stuck the gun in Craig's face. You might have done. We can all write things on here on our keyboards. But when it actually comes to the event, the evening, the daytime, when it happened, all the period of years, you probably shit yourself just the same as me. So carry on with your keyboard remarks. Like I say, it doesn't affect me. I take it in and I take everyone's comments in. I wished I could reply to everyone, but I haven't got time. I mean, it sounds a bit rude with all the great response I got, but I will get round to it. Now, like I say, I have been working all the hours God gives to take my beautiful wife on holiday. So we did. I paid it last week, and we're off to Turkey on the 17th of July. Yes, Bernard, Turkey. We're off to Turkey. We're off to Sea Day. So that's it. That's why I haven't been on. I haven't disappeared. I will never disappear. I will promise you I will do a podcast every fortnight. Okay? Now, so I like to answer some of these questions. Now, I'm going to answer this one because I thought this was quite comical. Now, someone put on there on a message to me, funny how he vanished after his podcast smells fishy to me. That's what he put. So my reply to him was, I've been nowhere near your partner. So stew on that one, son. I ain't vanished anywhere and nothing's iffy. I'll come on here. I'll tell you the stories. You either believe me or don't believe me. I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. You know what I mean? I am going to start proving things. I have asked for my police record from Ripley when I was arrested and then taken back to Basildon in 96. I have asked for the proof of me being arrested in Hull. I've shown you the proof of me still in Basildon in 93, 94 when I was charged in 93. So I have no reason to come out with lies. Anyway, that's done. I'll tell you a story in a minute, but I watched a podcast last night. I think the podcast with Terry Stone and Bernard. Bernard's final one. And I can see where Bernard's coming from, and I'll explain why. Bernard and Terry have some sort of love-hate relationship with Colton. I got no idea. I think it's bit for bat and that and Colton to stop hiding under his shell and come out and be a man and book in front of all of us. Sit around the table, all of us. You know what I mean? Have it out. There's be no punch-ups, no sticking knives in each other. Just have a proper debate. And then you can turn around and ask that man, I don't want him there because he's just full of bullshitter. But if I have to have him there, then that's fair enough. I have to. But I'll only do it if the rest come round the table. It's no good me sitting there with him because he has all his paperwork, his research. And if you notice when he's talking, he talks and he go, yeah, and yeah, and as though he's thinking it. Now, if the events happened, you don't need to think; it just rolls off your tongue. Okay, like that sort of rolls off. Anyway, I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for his oldest son, to be honest, yeah. His oldest son used to be a prison officer, and he lost his job because of Bernard way of life and the Essex boys. You know what I mean? That's disgusting, isn't it? Poor lad. A career in prison as a prison officer, and he loses his job Bernard. But end of the podcast, if you listen carefully and go through it, I know it's a fucking boring podcast. I was nearly in tears watching it. He does say he's proud of his kids. He has a young son that wants to join the police academy. Now, how can he join the police academy if Bernard's saying that his other son lost his job because of Bernard's record? So anyway, you said his young son wants to join the police academy, and he's proud of his older son that's a police officer, a prison officer. Well, I thought he got the sack. So Bernard, make up your mind. He either got the sack or didn't get the sack, or he don't exist or he exists, or he's a prison officer or he's not a prisoner. Just come out. Anyway, the point of the podcast last night, Bernard, was supposed to go live, so we could ask you questions, but it didn't work out that way somehow. I don't know why, because I wanted to ask you why you was a police informer like me. I've come out clean. People accept me for what I am. People criticise what I did. That's fair enough. But you go on about, I noticed last night you're going about Colton all the time and in his book Muscle. And a lad that went to the club shooting a gun and Colton stabbed him. And they wanted Colton at court and he didn't want to go. And they got an order and Colton had to go to court and give evidence. Okay. So that makes Colton a grass in your eyes. Now think very carefully, fat man. Think very carefully. Who did you set up and go to court with and try and get a conviction on that poor lad that so-called sold the drugs to Lyra Betts? Lyra Betts' friend. So before you criticise other people, try and remember what you fucking done in life. And that's just one person you grasped up. Now the other bit I can understand is David, the police officer. Now in my eyes, and I'm not being insulting to anyone, once a police officer, always a police officer. You either trust them or you don't trust them. Okay, now I've trusted a police officer in my life, Jack Bowler, and I'll put my hands up today. But David, if you've got this proof on Bernard that he's a police informer and that he gives Steele's name before anyone did, a couple of days after the murder, I think he said, prove it. Prove to the lad that you have it. All right, show him, and it'll shut him up. Because if you don't prove something, then how can people believe you? Now, I know you ask me things, David, and I tell you about things. I asked about the camper van, who got arrested at Dover, and I told you everything I knew about it, okay? And I know you'll be checking that out. But see, you want to check my police record out, and it shows everything on my police record, what I've done, what I've been done for, who I was speaking to, who was my handler, the 2 phone calls I made, when I was paid, everything. So if you want to send me the paperwork, David, and I will sign the paperwork for you, and you can go to Essex Drug Squad and get the information you want. I have no reason to lie. I made an error. I made those 2 phone calls. Now, people say to me, would I do it again? And I thought about this, and the answer was, if I went through what I went through again, yes, I would. I'd make the phone calls. It wasn't to try and save Craig from the life of crime. Okay. It wasn't doing it because it was brotherly love. I done it because I was sick and tired, and I mean sick and tired, of being put down, rejected, beaten up, and having things stuck in my fucking face. So yes, I would do it again. So that's done. Anyway, I said my bit about Bernard. Terry, I think you're a nice bloke. Your podcasts are okay, but sometimes you have to zip it and let the person speak, because when they say something, you're giggling or you're butting in, and I'm not being rude to you. That's not the way to do a podcast. Is to let that person speak Then when they're finished, you say something. But everything seems to be a bit of a joke. So I don't know why you do it that way. But you are a lovely bloke. You're a brilliant actor, I think. I don't care what people say. And I think you have some brilliant people on your podcast. But I think you just need to tone it down a bit, mate. That's all. Now, I'd love to come onto your podcast. But if it's not toned down, then I'm not going to come on. I know it's no great loss to you. You probably say, well, fuck you, Brian. But I think you need, when you're telling a story, you have to let person tell it. Just keep bringing it out, letting it flow like turn the tap on, not stopping the starting, you're stopping the starting because you're taking away the audience after time when someone doing the podcast and the promoter there's giggling or making some remarks that shouldn't be remarked. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to come off that. I've said me bit about Bernard. I've said me bit about David. I'm going to put it out once more for Colton. He has come off YouTube, but I found him on TikTok. It's not hard, Colton, to find someone, is it? And you're still going round on these talk shows saying you was number one suspect. Well, it's been proven you wasn't. Look, I'm not bothered how much money you make out of this. You know what I mean? Bernard, me. If I make some money, good on me. But I haven't so far. I've sold my book. But I say I sold my car to make my book. I'm not a millionaire. I don't wish to be a millionaire. If ever they consider making a film out of it, the dead people's kids can have some of the money. It doesn't bother me, money. We all love it. We all want it. I just want to be Craig's voice. But I want to tell the side of Craig that he was. Now, I'm going to tell you some stories in time, the right good side of him. And people think, fucking hell, how did he turn out that way? And I'm going to tell you some evil sides like I have been. This is my man shed. Yes, this is where I come and get out of the way of the missus when she's happy with me. So anyway, I'm off to Turkey. Anyway, I'm going to tell a story. And this is a true story. And I'm going to ask the police officer at the end of this to come clean. It's a joke. But I'm going to give his name. I'm not saying he was part of it, but he knows about it. Anyway, when I used to get cars on bankers' drafts, okay, Craig would say to me, for instance, or Tony, I need a BMW so-and-so, so-and-so. Didn't say what colour or leather seats or cloth seats or what wheels. I just got that car they asked. So when I delivered that car, I got 2 to 5 grand a car, depending what the value of the car was. So I always made money out of it. I never asked where they went, even though sometimes I knew where they went to an area in Kent. I knew that for a fact. But one day Craig said to me, I think it was 91, June, July 91. Now, it's a long time, so I can't actually be bang on it. It was in 91. I'm sure it was 91. Craig asked me, okay, to get him a white XR3i, black roof, leather seats. That's what he asked me. I never ask who the cars are for. If the banker's drafts are there and I'm making money out of it, I go and buy it. So I went and I searched around for this car he wanted. I couldn't get one. Then I went to Ford in Basildon. There used to be a car, Ford in Basildon, which people know. I don't know if it's still there. Okay. I went there, and if I remember rightly, it used to be, I think, the back of the bus depot. Used to go under a bridge and up. I'm not sure, and that's what I think. Anyway, I went and got this XR3i. I took it to Craig, thinking I'm going to make 2 grand out of this, but I didn't make nothing out of it because it wasn't for sale. I had to take the car to Basildon Swimming Bars car park, which was a big car park then, and it had like a big, huge, massive pond at the back, and it had like a big water feature at the front. I put it in the car park, and I was told to leave the keys, the driver's side, at the back of the wheel, the inside of it, on the floor. So I did. I didn't ask no questions, and I left the XR3i there. I drove off. Well, I got picked up and drove off with me. And then a few hours later, I was a bit curious. Who was having this XR3i? So I went back up to the swimming baths, and the car was still there. So I left it, and I went back about another 5 hours later, and the car was gone. Okay, the car disappeared, but there was a police car, unmarked car sitting at the top of the road in the car park, and in that car was Jack Bowler. Okay, I'm not saying he had the car. I'm not saying the car was anything to do with Jack Bowler, but it's just a coincidence the car went missing, and Jack Bowler was sitting up in the car park with another officer. I think it was an escort car he was sitting in, or an Orion. I can't remember. So I want to ask you this, Jack. Now, we've been friends for years, and people may say, well, fucking grassing up. I never grasped anything to Jack Bowler as such, you with me? I never grasped on any other villains. The only person that I shopped was Craig when he got the guns from Manchester. I phoned Essex Drug Squad. The night when he put the gun to my face and drove off down Beanbridge, I phoned Essex Drug Squad. Now, on the first one from Manchester, I got paid 200, I think it was 230 quid cash. And that's got to be on record. Okay, so I'm asking you, Jack, come clean. Talk to David if he's your friend, I don't know. Or just get in contact with me and tell me what that car was for. Because I know for a fact there was an officer Craig was feeding information to. I'm going to tell you another story, all right? You know when I said to you I went to Southend-on-Sea and took Sue to get that car, and Sue fucked up some way, and I went to the bowling alley, and I went away, and the police were there, and we got arrested, and Sue got arrested. Right. I found out why we got arrested. Because I was grassed up by my mother. You say to yourself, why would your mother grass you up? I'm going to tell you. Sue, who's a lovely lady, whose husband went to Africa, okay, like I said, and he stayed out there, and Sue had 2 children to bring up, needed the money. But what Sue did wrong, because Sue was good friends with my mum, and my mum's husband, Paul was shagging her, while Lorraine was in bed asleep. Yes, and my wife will clarify this. So, Lorraine set Sue up, grasped Sue up, which grasped me up. So that's how I got caught. It was revenge to get Sue. Probably revenge to get me as well, but yeah. Paul was shagging Sue. Lorraine found out. Lorraine asked me if I could get Sue some pennies. I took Sue on the job in Southend. Sue got caught. I got caught. We all got put in Southend police station. But Sue walked off with the case because I told the police she had knew no part of the dodgy bankers drafts. But that's it, yeah. Now I'm going to tell you another thing, which no one knows, as far as I know. Why was Craig Mum's favourite? You know, Craig couldn't do nothing wrong. I'd done everything wrong, whether it's right or wrong. I'd done everything right. Michael was shipped out to Nan and Grandad. Sharon, the most beautiful, lovely, caring sister, girl that I've ever known. All right? Took her own career, pub game for life, bought a beautiful apartment abroad, retired, happy now, 3 lovely kids, all grown up, married. Okay? I tell you why Craig was Mum's favourite. Because Craig is John Kennedy's son. Yeah. His dad is John Kennedy. So Mum hated me because I was Brian's son and thought the world of Craig because he was John Kennedy's son. Now, how I found that out is John Kennedy's come forward. I had my suspicions, but in the day he's your brother, so you don't want to say anything. But now it's come forward that Craig is John Kennedy's son. I never knew that, really. Like I say, I had my suspicions, but I never knew it. Yes, just goes to show, Lorraine, you have been poking the fires. Anyway, so Bernard seems to think that I won around in the 90s, but it's been proven that I was. that my family outed me and nothing to do with me, which is partially true, but not true. They never wanted me. So that's the true bit. Now, I got married into year 2000, right? Not at Gorse Valley Way, Burnham, where I've never lived, and I can put my mortgage deeds on here and show you the truth. You with me? We bought this house. We got this house in 2000 as a council house. We had to live in it 2 years before we could buy it. So I think we bought it 2002 or 2004. I can't remember. So this Gorse Valley Way, just put the paperwork up and prove it. Anyway, we got married year 2000, me and my wife. So I put out an olive leaf to my family. Would you like to come to my wedding in Derbyshire? And I got replies, and they come. Yes, I paid for all the suits and that. I paid for the accommodation. Yes, I worked my little socks off again, so I didn't owe no one. Okay, they come. We had a lovely wedding in a church. We went to the pub down the road. We had a lovely meal. Then we went to a welfare club and had an evening do, and then a lot more guests come. So we had that. So when it come to the end, we got a taxi. Me, Debbie, our friend, dear friend called Tracy, my mum, and Paul. So we put all the presents in the car. We only had a flat, then we didn't have the house. The house come along next. So we went from the flat to the house. So we got to the flat. We unloaded all the presents, put them up in the front room. Debbie went up in a beautiful white dress. I went in a suit. Mum and Lorraine, Paul and Lorraine come, and Tracy. About 15 minutes later, there's a knock on the front door. So Tracy goes to the front door. You have to go to the front door and then downstairs another door because it's the top floor flat. And the taxi driver's standing there. He says to Tracy, excuse me, if someone picked up my 200 fags by mistake when they took the presents out of the car. So Tracy, I don't know, I'll go and ask for you. So she's come upstairs and she's asked everyone. And I said, no, I'll have a look. So I looked around and I couldn't see no 200 fags. So I went down to the bloke and I said, look, mate, we haven't took 200 fags. I don't think he believed us, but we didn't take him. Okay, so he went off, not too happy person. He probably cost the poor lad a fortune for those 200 fags. He'd had to work the extra hours to pay the next 200 fags. So the next day, when we're sitting there having breakfast and we're all giggling, Paul's brought his bag out of the spare bedroom. But it was open, zipped a bit, and I walked past. In that bag, I could see a sleeve of 200 fags. So even though I invited my mother and her husband to our wedding and we paid for everything, beautiful day, they ruined it by nicking that taxi driver's 200 fags. So I fronted Paul about it, and I got abuse from Paul and my mum. So since then, we've never spoken. What they did was low. What I've done in my life is low. But that was my wedding day. The rest of the family knew nothing about it. The friends knew nothing about it. So those two stole those taxi man's fags for no reason at all. Anyway, I've got to get on my little jobs in the garden. Like I say, I have been busy working, not avoiding anyone. I will do a podcast every fortnight. Some good stories, some bad stories, and sometimes not stories. We just have a chat because, you know, when I sat down and read some of those messages, it just breaks your heart, doesn't it? You know, that there is decent people out there that are willing to listen to me. And I thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And I wished one day I could meet the whole lot of you. We could sit and have a drink and a giggle. And the 1% are saying that I'm a grass. And I respect that. I'm not going to fall out with you. All I say to you at the end of the day, put yourself in my shoes. What would you have done? Anyway, goodbye everyone. And I'll see you in a fortnight. I'm off to Turkey on the 17th. Yes, 5-star hotel. Adults only. Well, I didn't know I booked adults only till after. And I told the wife it's a swingers hotel. And she was not fucking happy. I had to tell her to read the reviews. But first, I told her the swingers hotel. Could have been divorce papers, couldn't it? Anyway, thanks everyone. But my heart goes out to all my subscribers with the lovely messages. And most of all, my heart goes out to Liam for giving me the opportunity to come on his podcast and speak openly without interfering, jumping in and making jokes. I've watched a lot of podcasts and he is one of the best, up there with James and Dodge, easy. And Yummy B, I know I keep letting you down, and you keep saying, well, you're supposed to be coming then, you're supposed to be coming in, I keep letting you. I will come, mate. Like I say, I'm just a working person. My wife can't work no more. She has bad hands and that. So she has to look after grandchildren. So I go to work and I still got a mortgage to pay and still bills, and the interest rates are sky like anybody else. We all struggle. So as soon as I can get that back on my feet a bit, I will drive down to you, Yummy. I will shake your hand and we'll have a good old chat and a pint. And I swear to you that I promise. Give me at least 2 months to get back on my feet and I'll pop down and see you, mate. All the best, everyone. Ta-da.